Before we get into this video, I wanted to say a few things. First, this video is super late. I originally intended to post it in April, a few days after we recorded the audio, but it took a lot longer to edit this video than I originally thought it would. And that, coupled with my schoolwork and procrastination, is why I am posting this now in June rather than in April when I originally intended. Second, a warning to all you out there who hate spoilers. This video is full of spoilers of Sherlock's and Agatha Christie mysteries. So don't say I didn't warn you. Third, the audio of this video is sped up a tiny bit for timing reasons, so it wouldn't be too long, because, if it wasn't sped up, it would already be a lot longer than it already is. But also, there is a moment where the audio cut, like, something wonky went with it, and I had to cut out that bit of audio and re-record a line that was said, so when that comes up, so you know the reason. Also, there are bits of audio that I did cut out, so if anything sounds like it's wonkily cut, that's the reason, because I'm not used to editing video audio. And final, there are a few times when we misremember the names of episodes, and yeah, so just so you know, we're aware of that after the fact of the recording. So anyway, let's get into the video. Enjoy! Hello everybody, Rose Puppy here again, and I'm here with my sister, Star Kitten. Hi! We have been watching a lot of, the TV show Agatha Christie's Hercule Poirot, and also
also Sherlock.
Yeah, BBC's Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman. So yeah, this video is just gonna be just us chatting about it. So yeah, let's start with Sherlock. You want to start with Sherlock? Poirot
sure.
or Crooked House?
How about we start with Sherlock?
Okay. Yeah, I watched the show originally with Dad. But yeah, you've seen all of seasons 1, 2, and all but the last episode of season 3. What's your favorite so far?
I don't know. I guess the one with Donovan.
I don't know.
know.
Donovan is Poirot. Unless you mean the detective from Sherlock?
No.
You're thinking Poirot.
Oh yeah, wrong one. Sorry. I guess my favorite is the wedding.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Because the drunkenness and silliness.
Yeah, it's really funny. There's this one, so a few times in the show, like, some people call Sherlock a psychopath, and he corrects him. High-functioning sociopath, he says.
I don't get why they call him
because Moriarty, so for example, Moriarty is a psychopath. Here, let me see. What is the difference between
I know the difference.
A psychopath and a high functioning?
She has to pronounce everything when she's typing.
Really?
Like this.
I have no idea how to spell sociopath. It says, while psychopaths are classified as people with little or no conscience, sociopaths do have a limited, albeit weak, ability to feel empathy and remorse. Okay, so yeah, that's the difference between Moriarty and Sherlock. Sherlock can feel like empathy and remorse and stuff, and he can care about people. Moriarty, on the other hand,
doesn't care about anybody in the world.
He's crazy, yeah. Yeah. So there are a few episodes you haven't seen, and that you're not going to see until you're older for several reasons. The Abominable Bride, because it's scary. Really. And then the next 3, so Dad was looking at them, and he's like, oh yeah, these 2 might be okay, it's just the last one that, I'm like, yeah, but I can't show that to her, because then she'll have to see the last one, for reasons that pertain to the ending of the second episode of the season. But anyway, basically, yeah. But in the last one is the final problem. So I'm not gonna talk. Some of my favorite lines in the wedding one, sign of 3, is this. It's like, so anyway, back to the sociopath psychopath thing. He was interviewing. Remember, he was talking to the guy who still had a crush on Mary.
Oh yeah.
He still liked her.
And he also did that weird smile.
Yeah. It's like, they're right about you. You're a bloody psychopath, high-functioning sociopath. With your number. That's one of my favorite parts. And then one of my other favorite parts is when that little boy goes up and hugs him. And I'm guessing the woman is his mother.
Or grandmother or something.
I'm pretty sure his mother. She's like, he's really come out of his shell. I don't know what you did. He said, and then she said, he said you had some pictures for him as a treat. And Sherlock's like, yes, if he's good. And the kid goes, beheadings. And Sherlock's like, lovely little village. And then the woman and the child walk away, and the woman's like, what did you say? That was really funny. Just beheadings, lovely little village. What was your favorite part?
Of the wedding?
Yeah.
I guess him being drunk.
Yeah, it's probably mine too.
He even threw up on the carpet.
Yeah, seat, chair, sleep, egg, chair, sit, thing, dead, skull, deaded, died. A lot of the things that weren't even words. Basically, if you haven't watched the show, what happens is when he's like observing things, you see a bunch of words like dry, wet, clean, dirty, and it's really cool. It's just really cool.
Even shiny or...
Yeah, but when he's drunk, it's a total mess.
Yeah, egg, seed.
Yeah, deaded thing, dead, skull, deaded. It was funny. But remember when they were playing that game? It was like headbands when they had the little things on their foreheads.
Oh my goodness, that was hilarious.
Jod was Madonna. And that woman comes, so Sherlock, it was funny, he's like, so I'm not as tall as people think I am. People don't really like me, I'm clever. He's like, I'm smart. He's like, I'm you, aren't I?
No, he
Shush!
Okay.
Sorry. Would you like to say it? What John did? Then the client comes in.
I know what he did.
Which
I want to say it.
Is one of you Mr. Sherlock Holmes?
I want to say what he did.
Okay.
He was like, whoop,
And pointed to Sherlock's head. Sherlock, the name on Sherlock's forehead was himself. Was Sherlock Holmes. That was really funny. I do recommend watching it. It's really funny.
Very.
But yeah, in the last one though, so you asked about Redbeard while we were walking the dogs today.
Oh yeah.
You asked me if he was put down. I can't tell you anything about it. What I can do is say this though. This is something that does have to do with it. The song.
It's a creepy song.
Yes.
Warning, you viewers.
I got him lost, oh, who will find me deep down below the old beech tree? Help succor me now the east winds blow. 16 by 6, brother and hunter we go. Be not afraid to walk in the shade. Save one, save all, come try. My stead's 5 by 7, life is closer to heaven. Look down with dark gaze from on high. Before he was gone right back over my hill. Oh, now I'll find him, why nobody will. Doom shall I bring to him, I am queen. Lost forever, 9 by 19. Without your love, he'll be gone before. Say pitiful strangers, stroll off the door. My soul seek the shine of my willow's bloom. Inside, brother mine, let death make a room. The Musgrave Ritual. One of Sherlock's first cases that he's never able to solve. And I see you are covering your ears, kid. I will not tell you who is the one behind that song, but I'll tell you, he or she is very clever.
I'm guessing it's a she.
I'm not saying anything. Yeah, I remember we were watching Reichenbach Falls and you were in tears. I was like, are you crying?
I wasn't crying!
Yes, she was. She
no,
was.
There was dust in my eye!
You're like, no, I'm like, oh, it's okay. I cried so much for this too. And I was just sitting there smiling because I had seen this a few times before. And I knew the truth.
Yeah, I knew that he was not going to,
You actually did not know. You were crying because you thought he was actually dead.
No, I knew. Because the name is obvious. It sounds like the thing that we watched from another Sherlock.
Reichenbach Fall.
Where he went down a waterfall and he actually...
Yeah, Reichenbach Falls. In Sherlock, it's always inevitable. But yeah. Yeah, there was something else. Can't think of it. Oh, remember the smiley face though? Sherlock put a smiley face on the wall and then he started shooting at it?
Yeah, with his gun,
Yeah.
he was like, boom,
Yeah.
boom,
Oh,
boom.
I was looking up, because I had already seen it when we were watching the second one, The Blind Banker. I was actually looked it up and it was looking on, yes, Wikipedia, yes, but it was just for like the allusions and stuff to the actual books because these aren't based like wholly on one book. There are changes made. But I found as I was looking at it, it said the name of the girl in the beginning, and it said the actress who played her was Gemma Chan. Now I didn't recognize the actress, but I recognized the name, and I pretty much instantly knew. I was like, wait, is that Quintessa from The Last Night? And yes, it was Quintessa from Transformers: The Last Night. I recognized the name, not the girl's face. That's funny. But yeah, yeah. That one, it was interesting. The whole thing.
Maybe now we should talk about Poirot.
We have time to talk about more of this. Oh, I just remembered. One of my favorite parts in the wedding one was it was when the flashback with Sherlock meeting with the kid. He's like, you tell him all the stuff you have to do. The kid's like, no.
Oh, and I'm gonna say.
I want to be the one who would say.
I'm gonna say
Okay.
the
He's
thing
like,
of what he does to make the.
how about you be the kid? So it's like, and you have to wear the suit.
No.
No, he's like, why?
Why?
Because adults like that sort of thing. It's like, and the kid's like, you're a detective.
You're a detective.
Yep. You've seen some murders?
Seen some murders?
Yes, I have.
Can I see some?
And then just like the responsible adult he is, Sherlock
He
says,
said,
I don't see why not. And he brings the kid who's like not older than 10 years old. I don't think. He brings him over to the computer. And the kid's like, what sign is I? Maggot. Cool. And then the beheadings thing. Huh. That kid was clever, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He figured out that the
Invisible knife.
the invisible man with the invisible knife did it. Yeah. Yeah, that was a really good one. I felt so bad for Greg in the beginning, for Lestrade.
Wait, who's Greg?
Lestrade.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, remember when John asked Sherlock to be his best man?
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah, Sherlock was just
hilarious.
sitting there very silently. And he's like, in his best man speech, he's like, I told him how thankful I was and how I never like and how surprised I was, but deeply honored and stuff. And between each thing he says, it shows him just standing there silently. And John's like, Sherlock, okay, this is starting to get scary. And he says, it later just transpired I never said any of this aloud. That was funny. That was a really good episode.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Oh, but then Mary in the next episode with Magnuson. That man disgusted me.
Oh yes.
No talking about what he
Sorry,
did.
but it was disgusting.
Yes, I don't want to talk about that.
Me either.
It was a little, forgot about that.
It was so disgusting.
Nothing inappropriate, just rather not talk about it right now.
Yes, let's not talk about it.
Yeah. But yeah. Well, that was funny. I found. Oh, you know what I found funny about it being Benedict Cumberbatch with Sherlock and Martin Freeman as John Watson?
What?
Well, Martin Freeman plays Bilbo in the Hobbit trilogy, while Benedict Cumberbatch voices Smaug the dragon. Smaug.
Oh my god!
Yes, and I was just like, after I do that, I was like, that's Sherlock and Bilbo! So now what's a Hobbit, what's a dragon? But yeah, I saw a video and he was just like, that filthy dwarvish, he sent you, didn't he? For the Arkenstone. It was just really funny. Like, he was on all fours with these little dots in his face and this funny movies like, well, it was really funny. It was funny. Yeah. But it's also funny because they also both do great American accents. Remember how Benedict Cumberbatch was Doctor Strange in Doctor Strange? And then in Black Panther, Martin Freeman played that, I want to say CIA guy. I don't really watch the Marvel movies that much. And I saw Black Panther like once. Yeah, if I would like to see those two characters interact so badly, solely for the fact that they are not only Sherlock and Dr. Watson, but Bilbo and Smaug. Would you like to see that?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting totally off topic.
Sorry.
Yeah. So we've also been watching a lot of
Poirot.
So yeah, what's your favorite Poirot so far? You haven't seen all of them. I haven't seen all of them.
The one, what's it called?
With Donovan?
Uh-huh.
The third flat?
Yeah, the third flat.
So anyway, why was that one your favorite?
Because I got it right when I first watched it. Well, I got the murderer right. And my sister, when she first watched it, she didn't quite get it right.
Yeah, I wasn't actually trying that time in my defense because I knew there was going to be something that they didn't tell us. I knew they wouldn't give us all the facts because of what happened in the beginning. Hastings and Poirot had gone to a play called The Deadly Shroud, and Poirot was complaining that they didn't give all the facts, so Poirot hadn't been able to figure it out. He'd guessed one person. But yeah, anyway. My favorite is Dumb Witness so far. I used to watch Agatha Christie's Poirot with my parents before Kit was born. So yeah, my favorite is Dumb Witness. It's the one
because of the dog.
Yes, there's a dog. Mr. Bob. He's a wired fox terrier. It's adorable, very smart.
Yes.
And he helps Poirot solve the case.
Mm-hmm.
What? Oh, whoops. Sorry, there's something in my hair. Anyway. I don't know why you always found that so funny.
Sorry. Anyway, we're getting off topic.
So, okay, I want to talk about this one. Basically, what happens is, this woman, so it starts off with someone, like, sneaking into the house wearing a robe.
Yeah, which is red.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks velvet.
I don't know what the material was. But Bob, the dog, sees the person. The person sets up installs a little hook right by the stairs. And Bob is barking at the person. The person picks him up, and someone who is in bed sees the woman, and in the mirror in their bedroom, she says, "Put him in his basket before he wakes the whole house." And she sees the monogram T.A., which coincidentally fits the initials of the murder victim, Teresa Arundel. I mean, her niece, not Teresa Arundel's the niece of the murder victim. Sorry. But yeah, later, so someone set up a tripwire where the hook was, and then placed Bob's ball by there. But the thing is, what Bob helps Poirot figure out is that whenever he does his trick,
he always puts his ball back into his bed.
Bob will run up the stairs with his ball, drop the ball, so he starts going down the stairs, quickly go down the stairs, catch his ball, and then go back and then return to his bed with his ball. So he couldn't have left it up there.
Yeah.
Someone left it there to make it seem like the murder victim had gone down. But they failed that one time. But then she changed her will. And later on, you see her, she's not feeling well, and green mist, like this green stuff comes out of her mouth as she falls. She was poisoned with phosphorus. That later turns out was put in her liver capsules by her other niece, Arabella. I can't remember her last name. But what I do remember is that the initials, it was because the woman had seen them in the mirror.
Uh-huh. So it looked like T.A. when it was actually A.T.
Yeah. And it was Bob who helped Poirot figure that part out too by barking at the side of a boat that had been polished up so it was like perfectly reflective. So yeah, the woman had been pretending her husband was abusive, which is just a terrible thing to do. But yeah. Dad says that his favorite is The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. Oh, hold on. Can you keep talking to them a bit? Well, I'm gonna be right back. I forgot something. Please.
There she goes. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, the third flat, is basically about when the beginning starts when this lady moves in to Poirot's building. Above or under, I don't remember. This girl who has a best friend, and at the time they're dancing. Anyway, that's not important. Well, they're best friends. And then, we see Poirot, who is sick. Yeah, he literally says he's sick because he has no case to solve. And then, of course, he goes to this, theater scene, like Rose said, and then he gets a case later. No?
Okay. Sorry, continue.
And then he stops being sick, and the case is basically the woman who moved in died. And yeah, that's really all I'm going to say.
You're not going to say who did it?
Okay, fine, I'll say it. Okay, the one who did it was the fiance of the woman...
Patricia Matthews.
Yeah, Patricia Matthews.
Donovan was the name of the guy.
Yep.
Why did he murder her?
Because that used to be his wife.
No, she was. She is. Well,
Yes.
was before she was killed. His wife.
Yeah, and she wouldn't divorce with him.
I can see why he wanted a divorce from her.
Yes.
She was horrible.
Uh-huh. I mean, if I met
That make
someone
me
like
laugh.
that, I mean, I would be...
That make me laugh.
I would just change my name and my entire life story just to get away from them. That's what I would have done.
But to be fair, he was technically still married to her, so he shouldn't have been trying to marry someone else. And I don't understand why he thought just because they got married in Switzerland, it wasn't valid there in England. But yeah, he had only pretended that the lights were off. Did he mention that part?
No.
Oh, he had stolen. They had gone out to the Deadly Shroud as well as Hastings and Poirot, and Donovan had actually stolen the key from Patricia. And yeah, so he and his friend would have to try to go in through the dustbin thing. I'm not really sure what it's called.
Just the dustbin.
No, it's not the dustbin. It's where they would like take out the dustbins or something. I don't know. I don't remember, like some shaft or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is your favorite. You want to say what happened? Why he wanted to go in?
Well, because he didn't see this letter that he needed, that he was looking for.
Yeah,
so then he had to come back later, and then he finally found the letter when they came back.
Yeah, it was a letter with proof, from his now dead wife's solicitor, saying that their marriage was perfectly valid. And she was going to tell Pat about it, which is why he killed her. He shot her. But yeah. Okay. But he had lied and said that the lights weren't working. And he had purposely gone into that flat, the 36B, instead of, I think Pat's was 46B. But yeah, anyway, yeah. So I am obviously back. So Easter was a few days ago. It was on Sunday. In my basket, I found one of Agatha Christie's books. It's the 4th book, The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. Dad got this for me because this one's his favorite, and now I know why. Because of how it's actually a genius. I accidentally spoiled the ending for me, and I'm very upset at myself with that.
Yes, when she was looking for how many pages?
Yeah, I was looking at for the last page to see what the how many pages there were, and I used to have a bad habit of looking at the backs, like at the ends of books, like to see who the murderer was, but I hadn't really read any detective novels before. So, and this time I've lately been determined to not
give spoilers,
look up spoilers and spoil stuff for myself either. So, and I was determined to not look to see who the murderer was. But so all I was doing is looking to see the last page, 286 by the way. I expected it to be on the bottom.
It was on the top.
Yes, and while I was looking for the page number, I found this one sentence. But I wish Hercule Poirot had never retired from work and come here to grow vegetable marrows. Now, before when I started reading it, I was really confused as to whose point of view this was told from. I'm not going to say it because you still haven't seen the episode, neither have I. But, well, anyway, the back goes like this. Roger Ackroyd knew too much. He knew that the woman he loved had poisoned her brutal first husband. He suspected that someone had been blackmailing her. Then tragically came the news that she had taken her own life with an apparent drug overdose. The Evening Post brought Roger one last fatal scrap of information, but before he could finish reading the letter, he was stabbed to death. But luckily, Poirot had moved in in that same village. Anyway, and he was actually friends with Roger Ackroyd. But here's the interesting thing. So anyway, I was really confused as to who's speaking. So I asked my parents. My mom said that it was a narrator. Hastings wasn't in this one. And apparently, these books are usually told from Hastings' point of view. But this was not. And then I started questioning. I was like, if they're the narrator, then are they still one of the suspects, or are they excluded? Because I wasn't sure. Because then I figured it would be pretty hard to hide it from. And apparently, Dad was surprised that I was asking about the narrator. Because the narrator is the murderer. That one last sentence I found, I accidentally glanced over it. I swear, I didn't mean to. But basically, and I was like, oh no, it's the narrator, isn't it? And I've only read chapter 1 so far. I've only read 1 chapter.
In my book that I got for Easter, I haven't even finished chapter 1.
Yeah, she got a Nancy Drew book.
Very long chapters.
Yeah, the first chapter of this one was like 6 pages. But anyway, as I was reading though, I noticed some things I did notice some things. And now, what I'm not sure about is if I would have, what drives me crazy about this is would I have noticed it if I hadn't seen that part about the end of the book? That's what's frustrating me. Dad thinks I would have, but I'm not sure. So let me find the page. So Mr. Ackroyd had asked him to come to dinner at his house so they could talk after the woman he loved had committed suicide. He told the narrator that he had killed, what was it? Like that she had actually poisoned her husband and stuff, blah, blah, blah. Where is it? Why am I on chapter 6? Hold on, sorry. Here it is. So he was reading the letter. It says, Ackroyd, his finger on the sheet. Actually, no, hold on. Wait, it says, so the person's like, so Ackroyd's like, no, I should read this alone. It was only meant for me. And the person's like, no, keep reading it. Go on. And he's like, no. He's like, at least read the name of the man. It says, now Ackroyd is essentially pig-headed. The more you urge him to do a thing, the more determined he is not to do it. All my arguments were in vain. The letter had been brought in at 20 minutes to 9. Now, hold on, this is one of the paragraphs that I noticed the most. The letter had been brought in at 20 minutes to 9. It was just on 10 minutes when I left him, the letter still unread. I hesitated with my hand on the door handle, looking back, and wondering if there was anything I had left undone. I could think of nothing. With a shake of the head, I passed out and closed the door behind me. I was startled. What are you doing?
Nothing.
I was startled to see the figure of Parker close at hand. He looked embarrassed, and it occurred to me that he might have been listening at the door. And it says, Mr. Ackroyd does not want to be disturbed, I said coldly. He told me to tell you so. Quite so, sir. I fancied I heard the bell ring. But yeah. And that was really weird. Like, what happened between them? And here's the interesting thing. Let me read a bit more. It says, it says, 10 minutes later, I was at home once more. Caroline, his sister, was full of curiosity to know why I had returned so early. I had to make up a slightly fictitious account of the evening in order to satisfy her, and I had an uneasy feeling that she saw through the transparent device. Why would he have to make up a fictitious, telling of it, account? Unless he's the murderer. And I already know it's him, which is why I noticed that, probably, and it just drives me crazy. That I will never know if I would have noticed that if I hadn't accidentally spoiled it for myself.
Yeah, she gets angry with this
Yes,
stuff
I've been
now.
angry about this.
Yeah, I'm just gonna... Why don't you keep on talking
No,
about
don't go.
it?
Well,
I'm
listen,
not going to go.
here's one more hint. It was 10:15 when we went up the stairs. I had just reached the top when the telephone rang in the hall below. Mrs. Bates, said Caroline immediately. I'm afraid so, I said ruefully. I ran down the stairs and took up the receiver. What? I said. What? Certainly, I'll come at once. I ran upstairs, caught up my bag, and stuffed a few extra dressings into it. Parker telephoning, I shouted to Caroline. From Fernley, they've just found Roger Ackroyd murdered. Now here's the thing. How long had it been? So he said it was 20 minutes to 9 when the letter had been brought in, and he left at 10 minutes to 9. And it was 10:15. So more than an hour had passed. Plenty of time for Roger Ackroyd to read the letter. Plenty of time. More than an hour had passed between 10 minutes to 9 o'clock and 10:15. That's way more than an hour.
Yeah.
And it says here, the Evening Post brought Roger one last fatal scrap of information, but before he could finish reading the letter, he was stabbed to death. Before he could finish reading the letter.
That means that he didn't read it for long or something?
No, he had plenty of time to finish reading it in the time that man left, the narrator left. Unless it was the narrator who murdered him. And now, I feel like this is very unfair, because I'm the one who spoiled it for myself on accident. And yes, now this is turning into a rant. We should probably start talking about something else. But hold on, one more thing about this. It is actually genius for Agatha Christie to write this from the point of view of the murderer. It's to throw you off. Because then, he could tell it from his account and leave out details. And it's the untrustworthy narrator, Dad said. The untrustworthy narrator. He can tell it whatever way he wants. And he said that's why it's his favorite. Because he remembered the thrill of reading it, when it started to dawn on him that it was the narrator. I don't know anything else, though. I don't know why. I'm not really sure why he did it. Because this man, he seems like a very sane man. So I'm just not sure. So at least there's still that for me to figure out. And I could at least I could still enjoy how Poirot solved it. Poirot is really good.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So you haven't seen this episode yet. It's called The Mysterious Disappearance of Mr. Davenheim. There's one scene where this guy comes because Poirot had taken a bet with Chief Inspector Japp that he couldn't solve the mystery in 7 days without leaving his flat. So he had to stay home for 7 days.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. This dude comes to the door. He's like, I've got a parrot for Mr. Poirot. And Poirot's like, Poirot. It's pronounced Poirot. And the man's like, oh, sorry, Governor. I've got a Poirot for Mr. Poirot. Because people are always mispronouncing his name because he's from Belgium. And it's like he lives in London, so yeah. What are you doing again? You're very far away. It's going to be hard to hear you. What are you looking at?
Okay, we're getting off topic.
Yeah, what are you doing? Can you please stop doing that? Sorry. Anyway. But yeah. And then there's the part where Poirot says, where he sings this well, it's the only explanation that fits. And Poirot's like the round hole into the square peg. It's supposed to be the square peg into the round hole. But
That makes much more sense.
yeah, it's just funny. Yeah, I'm actually really good at sussing out people. Sometimes. Yeah. Oh, speaking of being good at sussing out people, I was terrible when we were watching this movie. So Agatha Christie has several different detectives. There's Poirot and Miss Marple are two of her most famous ones. But she's also got some ones that are only in one book. The other day, we watched this movie called Crooked House, based off of the Agatha Christie Marvel. Marvel? I have a novel. Oh dear, brain fart. And Kit here got the murderer. Who was it?
It was
The 12-year-old granddaughter?
named
Josephine.
Josephine.
Leonidas. She was the granddaughter of the murder victim. But before, like not even halfway into the movie, she's like, pause! That's suspicious. And what did he say?
I said that Josephine did it.
No, you said why it was suspicious.
Oh yes, I said that it was suspicious because if he never let her dance, then
He canceled. Yeah, she just told him that she just told Charles, the detective, that she hated her grandfather because he canceled her ballet lessons.
and she wanted to become a dancer.
A ballerina, yeah.
And then also when she was talking to Charles a lot and trying to find out who he thought it was, and also becoming very close to him, that was also suspicious because normally the bad guy would do that, trying to warm to the detective's heart to make the detective think, aw, he couldn't do it, aw, she couldn't do it, and stuff like that.
I suspected it was the old woman. What was her name again? Lady Edith.
Yeah.
But what was frustrating was that, so I am a couple years older than Kit, and so she'd been like, oh, it's suspicious, blah blah blah, and then I was like, it's never the kid. And now I'm hitting my head against the left whenever I say that, because it was a kid.
And now you're kind of scared of that.
Nah, that was a joke.
Okay.
What bothers me the most about it is not that you figured it out before I did, but is that I dismissed it as not being possible. When, now that I think about it, I think of some cases where it was the kid. And I'm not telling you what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because I don't understand.
Anyway, it's actually related to something we have talked about. I'm not saying anything. Well, actually, I did tell you on the walk that the song I sang earlier was written by a child. But I'm not saying who. That song was from when Sherlock was a child, when Redbeard was still alive. But yeah, anyway, no, not talking about that. But Josephine, yeah, she'd switched her grandfather's insulin with his eye drops.
And it was injected into his blood vein, which caused him to die.
That's true, yeah. Oh, although, now, if you watch it now, I bet you would have recognized Clemency Leonidas.
Yes.
My dad and I recognized her at the same time, the same exact time. He gasped, and I went, Mary! As in Mary Watson from BBC's Sherlock. It was the same actress, just with black hair instead and really dark lipstick.
Yeah.
But yeah, now Kit knows who Mary Watson is. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. Sherlock is pretty funny. But yeah. Yeah. Oh, remember the one with the woman? The password was so clever. I am Sherlock. It said, I am blank, 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 4 digits. Like, for the blank space. It said, I am blank.
Clever.
I am blank locked. And she couldn't resist it. So she put, I am sure locked. And it was incredible.
Yeah. It was clever.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. There's
Stop saying yeah.
One day we should do a video of a bunch of things I say a lot. On that list would probably be, yeah, basically, I don't know, would be like the top of the list. Also confuzzled. I like to say confuzzled sometimes when I'm confused. Yeah. 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 Who's your favorite, Sherlock or Poirot? Cat got your tongue?
No. Can you guess?
No. Sherlock?
Ding ding ding.
Yeah.
How do you guess?
Because that one, like, they're both very different. And Poirot's more like, ah, yes, I don't get my hands dirty. Well, not quite that, yeah, but Sherlock is more like, the game is on and stuff. It's exciting.
Mm-hmm. And I was also staying in silence and not really moving much, like Sherlock when Watson told him to be best man.
That wasn't a good hint. But yeah, yeah. Murder on the Orient Express is Mom's favorite. We saw the movie with that guy who plays Gilderoy Lockhart in Harry Potter.
Don't remember.
How do you not remember it?
I've told you so many times this month.
I understand why his mom's favorite, that's what I'll say. I don't really have anything else to talk about this.
Yeah.
So I guess that's all.
Yeah.
Bye.